Some romantic lines from the books are so incredibly beautiful, but at the same time, incredibly sad. So this video, and continuing with my 14 videos of love where I'm releasing love or romance related videos celebrating Valentine's Day, which we all just love so much. I want to list 10 quotes that are crazy beautiful and show just how much love is between two characters, but at the same time, kinda, or a lotta, sad.
I only know she was the one thing I ever wanted. Someone took her away from me. And 7 kingdoms couldn't fill the hole she left behind.
While this is a show-only line, it gets me every time. I honestly believe Robert Baratheon in the show is a million times better than how Robert was portrayed in the books. We just got a whole new layer to Robert from the show. Now, whether Robert would have been a shitty husband to Lyanna or not, we really can't say. Maybe his love for Lyanna would have changed his whoring. Maybe this was a man that truly found his soulmate and would have cleaned up his act. Or maybe a man that found a way to become actual brothers with his bestie. Regardless of the what ifs or if he would have been completed by Lyanna, her death shaped the rest of Robert's life. He can't even really remember her anymore, but he still holds on to his love for her, even if it is misplaced. He fills the void left by her with alcohol and whoring, though again debatable if he wouldn't have done that anyways had she lived. Even if this fairy tale romance Robert built in his head is fake, it still destroyed any chance he ever had with Cersei when he called her Lyanna's name their first time together in bed. So not only is this line a deeply sad and romantic one from a man that thinks he lost his one true shot at love and happiness, but a line from a man who refused to move on and find true happiness with his current wife, leading to absolute tragedy.
Was it ever possible for us? Was there ever a time, ever a moment?
No.
Number 2. I rose too high, loved too hard, dared too much. I tried to grasp a star, overreached, and fell. Jon most likely was in love with Rhaegar Targaryen. We have hints in the books, and also George has hinted about it in interviews. Jon would try to impress Rhaegar, and then realize he was trying to impress a prince that would one day rule the entire 7 kingdoms. Even in his old age, Jon mourns what could never be, and sees Aegon, supposedly Rhaegar's son, as his last way to show his love for the dead prince. I can't help but read this line and not only feel the strong love Jon had for Rhaegar, but also the intense regret that he could never be with him. Number 3. I've lost a hand, a father, a son, a sister, and a lover, and soon enough I will lose a brother. And yet they keep telling me House Lannister won this war. And also, I crossed 1,000 leagues to come to you and lost the best part of me along the way. Don't tell me to leave. I'm not a huge fan of Jaime, but I know other people absolutely adore him, and still personally, this line shows how much he is willing to do for Cersei and his love for her, but at the same time, just how much it's taken from him. That line, how people say House Lannister won, but he lost so much, he feels it was a defeat, is coming from a man that thinks he lost near everything. And the one person he truly loved and gave all himself to, he's now lost, or maybe is realizing he never had in the first place. Even if I don't like Jaime, it's really hard to see his affection and love for Cersei, and also for him to slowly realize, you're kind of a cunt. Number 4. I am malformed, scarred, and small, but abed, when the candles are blown out, I am made no worse than other men. In the dark, I am the Knight of Flowers. I am generous, loyal to those who are loyal to me. I've proven I'm no craven, and I'm cleverer than most. Surely wits count for something. I can even be kind. Kindness is not a habit with us Lannisters, I fear, but I know I have some somewhere. I could be good to you. While Tyrion wasn't exactly in love with Sansa here, this speech was more romantic than what you'd think you'd get from a man from a family that executed your father, orchestrated your brother's death, and then mentally and physically tortured the fuck out of you. Tyrion is putting his heart at her feet, saying that he will do everything he can to make her happy, even though he doesn't have to, nor is he expected to. But it's sad at the same time because they both know it would be a bit better if he was a little bit more attractive, despite the family he comes from.
And so my watch begins.
Number 5. I was a better smuggler than a knight, he had written to his wife. A better knight than a king's hand. A better king's hand than a husband. I am so sorry, Marya. I have loved you. Please forgive the wrongs I did you. Davos is about as lovable of a character as you can get, but he's still a deeply flawed man. When he writes this letter to his wife, he is pouring his heart out, and we can see the vast love he has for her, but at the same time, we clearly see all the ways he has let her down, and he has let himself down in regards to loving her. It would be hard to find someone that read these lines and didn't feel bad for Davos and understand the tragedy of his love for his wife and the failures that came with it. Number 6. When the sun is set, no candles can replace it. Now I want to start by saying Loras is way better done in the books than he is in the show.
I should like to see you spar with a proper partner, sir.
Loras and Renly were in love, and when Renly died, Loras was devastated. More devastated in the books than the show.
Wonderful. Dawn, High Garden, anywhere but here.
Yeah, he's a teenager and hormones and just the stupid shit we say in general at that age can haunt us, but let's ignore his age. This quote not only describes the extreme love they had for each other, but it is beyond sad. He doesn't want to move on. He's had his great love, his soulmate, and what's the point of being with anyone else? Nothing can compare to Renly, and he doesn't want to bother trying. Number 7.
You remember that cave? We should have stayed in that cave.
Jon and Ygritte had the impossible romance. He was a crow pretending to break his vows for more information on the wildlings, and Ygritte was a crazy sex machine that wasn't willing to let Jon go. They were basically as star-crossed lovers as you can get. But despite the lies and the lust, they both loved each other, and her saying they should have stayed in that cave makes so many things crystal clear. Her regret in how things turned out between them, that she still loves him, and that she knows this is the end and they won't ever go back to that cave together.
We'll go back there.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Number 8, Ned and Catelyn. Basically, a million quotes. There are just under a million quotes that show how much Ned and Catelyn loved each other, and I actually did an entire video about their marriage, which I will link down below. So first, here are 2 quotes from Ned about Catelyn that show just how much he cared for her, but at the same time, really hurt to read. He wanted to drift off into a dreamless sleep in his own bed, with his arms wrapped tight around his lady, Catelyn. And then, when he woke, there was nothing to do but think, and his waking thoughts were worse than nightmares. The thought of Cat was as painful as a bed of nettles. He wondered where she was, what she was doing. He wondered whether he would ever see her again. Then we have several quotes from Catelyn after Ned's execution that show just how much she loved her husband, but at the same time, make you want to sob. Catelyn had not eaten today. Perhaps that had been unwise. She told herself that there had been no time, but the truth was that food had lost its savor in a world without Ned. When they took his head off, they killed me too. Then of course her thoughts during the Red Wedding. They could do as they liked with her, imprison her, rape her, kill her. It made no matter. She had lived too long, and Ned was waiting. And then of course, not my hair. Ned loves my hair. They had an arranged marriage and were complete strangers, and somehow they have one of the best, most loving marriages in the entire series. Number 9, Drogo and Dany. So a little context for this one, this is a show-only interaction, and when Dany's having her visions, she sees Drogo and their child. That last line gets me, and if this is a dream, I will kill the man who tries to wake me. You know this is all playing on Dany's love for Drogo, but it shows how much she longs for what she can never have, and the death of her, perhaps Stockholm Syndrome-induced love, for her now dead husband. And if you're not destroyed enough by those lines, the look on Drogo's face as she leaves the tent... Number 10. I should have kissed you in the red waist. Every night and every day. You were made to be kissed. Often and well. He kind of ruined this from being a 10 out of 10 because he was staring at her breasts, and before someone just fucking loses their shit in the comment section down below, you can look at women's breasts, it's not a big deal. We, a lot of times, find it to be, you know, a compliment, but usually when you're trying to be romantic, we like a little eye contact. This line from Jorah Bear is just drenching you in how much Jorah loves Daenerys, but then is really sad when you realize just how friend-zoned he is. Of course, then it could also be a little bit creepy if you take it in the stalker light. Huh. Maybe I shouldn't have included this line. Bonus, this quote from Theon. When you're wrinkled and gray and your teats hang past your belly, you can tell your children's children that you once loved a king. You can tell how much he cared for that woman, but at the same time, he's devastated that he's not going to be able to watch her grow old. Theon, you old softy. So those are my personal picks for love quotes that show a great depth of love, but at the same time, kind of make your heart go, ow. What are your personal favorite quotes that you would have included in this video? And minus 10 points to Gryffindor for the first, second, third, and probably millionth person that writes the Roose and rape line. Which, I don't give a shit. I hate Gryffindor, so fucking go right ahead.